She hurries off to deal with someone else. Luckily, there are no major accidents for the rest of the session. Boop, boop, boop. Success! Yay! On Saturday morning, the mail and allowances are delivered, including something for me. It's a little card with painted flowers on it. Maybe violets or something else bluish. There's no signature, just my name and don't forget handwritten on the back. What should I do today? I'm gonna save, is what I'm gonna do. And then we're gonna go to the mall. Oh, I don't see Damien in the shuttle van on the way over. I'm not sure if he's here already or if he hasn't, or if he isn't coming until later. Since we're supposed to be having dinner, we won't be meeting for a couple of hours, so he has plenty of time. I've never seen him here actually. I don't see absolutely anyone in the mall, of course, but he's sort of hard to miss. But can he go to a place like this looking like he does? He said when he went to the Apple Festival he had to disguise himself. If he's wearing an illusion, he could be right here and I'd never know it. He could be anyone. A little boy, an old man, or a woman in a suit. Except, I don't think so. Looking at the people around me, somehow I'm sure none of them could be Damien. Even under an illusion, he would never slouch or shuffle like some ordinary teenager. He's a falcon to the core. The grace would always shine through. So if he's not here, what should I do while I wait? Window shop. There are a bunch of posters up around the mall for something called Medea. Or maybe it's someone. The posters show a wild-eyed woman with her hair flying around her. Could she be some sort of rock singer? Stress reduced by 3. At the arranged time, I wait near the entrance for Damien. There he is, and looking just like he always does. None of the non-magical shoppers seem to notice. Hello, Artemis. Are you ready? Where are we going? You'll see. It's not far, just across the parking lot. I didn't see any restaurants there. It's hidden, of course. Oh, silly me. The easiest way to find it is to go with someone who's been before. Shall we? He offers me his arm, and with minor hesitation, I lay my hand on it. It's slightly embarrassing for a friendly outing, but I do need him to guide me. And so together we leave the mall. So, if you go on the first weekend, somebody sees you with him, and it then causes like an argument, I think, because of one of his exes or something. So it does cause a little bit of a friction. Oh, my eye. When we reach the restaurant, I stop and stare. Not quite what you were expecting. It looks so normal. After passing the invisibility barrier, I was ready for anything, but this place could be any number of restaurants I've eaten with my parents. The only obvious difference is the customers. Damien isn't the only one here with wings. There's a little figure at one end of the table. He looks like a cross between a bird and a goblin. And across the way, I see Jacob sitting with 2 older men, one of whose hair is apparently on fire. It is simpler to rely on standard suppliers and build something in keeping with the world. They save their energy for the food. In the other world, there are no limits. You can eat off floating platters in a crystal palace. What is the other world? No one has told you yet? Think of it like fairyland. It's another world next to this one, where magic runs more strongly. It is wonderful, but it has its dangers. That's where magical creatures come from. Elves, dragons, all the sources of myth and legends. And you? We should talk about that later. Sorry, I didn't mean to be rude. No, I want to tell you, but I think we should order first. We sit at a booth and I look around for a menu without seeing one. Then Damien takes a narrow cylinder from a vase at the centre of the table, unrolls it and hands it to me. A scroll. I look over the listings, but I have no idea what most of them are. They're not even all in the same language as far as I can tell. Would you like me to order for you? Let him order. When the waiter comes, Damien rattles off a string of syllables that I can't understand, then smiles at me. A few minutes later, the appetizers arrive. Damien has a set of tiny eggs inside a nest of leaves, and I have a thin, pale brown tube filled with cream, like some sort of jelly roll. What is this? An Amazon. Take a bite, a small one. I nibble at the end. It tastes like an ordinary cake. Is it normal for witches to have dessert first? Take another bite. I nibble again and my eyes go wide. It tastes like biting into a packet of sweet and sour sauce. Keep going. Another bite, but this one I nearly spit out. Vinegar. I struggle to swallow and... If you didn't like that one, don't laugh. So I screw my face up a bit, holding back the giggle and ask, why not? The idea is to amuse the mouth. The flavour will keep shifting until you laugh, and then it stays that way. How magical. I don't want to miss out on the effect, so I keep a straight face while I finish my Amazon. A waitress comes by to clear the appetizer plate, and we wait for the main course. So, suppose it's time. Are we gonna do the intimate thing? No, come on. To tell you about where I came from. Oh, we're talking about feelings. Got it. Promise... Oh, please, promise me you won't repeat this story to anyone else. I promise. It's not easy to talk about. You don't have to if you really don't want to. No, I know you. Do you though? This is the first outing we've had. You don't know me, Damien. You don't know my story. How such a hard life. Being who you are, I don't believe you'll judge me in the same way. You don't have the same expectations because you weren't born to magic. Neither was I. What? But you're... not human, but my parents are. Huh? I'm a changeling. What does that mean? It means someone swapped me for my parents' blood child when I was a baby. At least that's what I think what happened. I don't exactly remember. But, you're blue. I think they sort of notice. I didn't look like this until later. I grew up always believing that there was something wrong with me, that the face I saw in the mirror wasn't right, but I didn't know why. Oh, I imagined all sorts of things. Perhaps my parents weren't my parents. Perhaps I was a lost prince and someday my real family would come and take me away. And save me. I think every unhappy child imagines that. He sighs and brushes stray crumbs off the table, not meeting my eyes. Did they come? Your birth family? No, I've never seen them. I wish they had. Even if one's a demon, they couldn't be... Well... When I turned 13, I saw my true face for the first time. I was terrified. I had to learn to hide it and pretend to be normal, even though I knew it was all a lie. It was quite a shock when I came to Iris and everyone started demanding to know my bloodline. I couldn't tell them, and I didn't want to explain. Why would they even ask? That's rude. You see, that's why I could tell you this, because it doesn't matter to you. They want to know who I'm related to, so they could know my status. There aren't that many all-magical families, and they're very proud of who they are. And when I wouldn't answer their questions, because I couldn't, that made them think I had something to hide. Especially William. His eyes flick back and forth, then suddenly he leans back in his seat and smiles. Before I can ask why, the waiter arrives to bring the main course. Bon appetit! The food is good, but my mind is too full of questions to really pay attention. There's obviously a lot more to the story, but for someone who has trouble trusting others, he probably told me more than he wants to already. I don't want to push him by asking for more. At last he looks up from his plate. Well, the way to a man's heart is through his tummy. Did you know that William was originally a falcon? What? We were hallmates at first, freshman year. He said he barely knew you because you were on a different hall. He probably didn't want to spoil his image by telling you what happened. Being kicked out of Falcon Hall for starting a fist fight doesn't sound very cool, does it? A fight with you? He lets out a shallow sigh. He kept trying to break into my room. He followed me around, but I wouldn't tell him anything. No. Let's talk about something else. Right. Do you come here often? Oh, occasionally, but not for a while. It's much nicer when you have someone to share it with. You'll like the dessert. The dessert? There's only one. Oh, god damn it. Only one dessert. That means we have to share. I don't like sharing my food. It's like, oh, do you want to go halves on a pizza? Like, no. Let's just order 2 and then we each have our own. Why would we get one and then halve it when we could have a whole one each? Well, it's possible to request an extra if you're greedy, but I don't think it will be good for you. A dessert plate is provided to everyone gratuite, even if you only came for coffee. It's part of the magical tradition of hospitality. No guest should go without. That's nice. He settles back into his seat and looks at me. Have you ever considered wearing some sort of ornaments in your hair? Something that could really bring out the colour of your eyes. I don't know. Oh, I'm a falcon. We like pretty things. Last year there was a senior in Butterfly Hall who wore a golden circlet with an enormous flower on each side of her head that changed colours as the days went by. You should have seen her. She was beautiful. Dark hair like a waterfall. Bitch! Come on now. I poke absently at my plate, then set my silverware down and allow the waiter to take it away. A few minutes later, the dessert plate arrives. Strawberries? Look more closely. I mean, this isn't a date, right? So we can't, you know, get jealous. Whatever. I look again. They're shaped like strawberries, but their surfaces are smooth and seedless and slightly shiny like candy. Is that, marzipan? I've heard the word, but I don't really know what it means. No, it's better. They're blown sugar glass. Careful, they're fragile. Put one in your mouth and suck gently. Oh, I'm gonna suck it now. Yeah, what can I say? Okay. I pick up a sugar berry and pop it into my mouth. For a moment there's just a vague sweetness as the sugar melts on my tongue. Then, all of a sudden, a burst of liquid flavour. Damien laughs at the surprise on my face. They're filled with strawberry juice. It's supposed to provide an energy. Why doesn't the sugar dissolve? Magic. After finishing the strawberries, I do feel energised. We chat a bit more and then Damien pays the bill, trying to hide the amount from my eyes. And then it's time to find a van back to campus. All throughout, he's been a perfect gentleman. A friend. And not a hint of anything more. Damn it! Damn it! Come on, Damien, now! Artemis? Yes? Do you like theatre? Plays? I don't know, why? Well, the drama club is doing Medea this week, and I kind of want to see it, but I don't want to go by myself. What's Medea? It's a classic Greek tragedy. It's about a witch whose lover betrays her, and the terrible things she does for revenge. That doesn't sound very nice, but it's right up my alley though. Let's go! That's why it's a tragedy. They're doing it Friday and Saturday night, and I was thinking I'd rather go Friday. Is it free? No, it's $5 for students. So, do you want to come? Yeah. Thanks. I better figure out what else I'm doing this week. We're saving. What else are we gonna do? And then we're doing Arbly Magic. My tea's gone cold. But I'm drinking it anyway because I'm a heathen. Reflection. Interrupts a spell being cast to reflect it onto its caster. Ooh! That's handy. Look at us being big-brained. Ellen and I meet outside the gym. There are a lot of people here. Not just students, but ordinary people and families who have driven up to see the play. After we buy our tickets, we can go inside. Folding chairs have been set up in rows across the gym floor, facing the stage. Behind the stage, a giant backdrop painting hangs on the wall, displaying marble pillars and steps to suggest a fantasy of ancient Greece. At least it looks like a painting. It's probably an illusion. That's got to be a lot easier than having to paint something so huge. We find a place to sit without anyone too tall in front of us. After a while, the show begins. It was every bit as tragic as Ellen suggested, and bloody too. Nice special effects though. Hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. Isn't that Shakespeare? No, it was someone else. Cosgrove, I think, from The Morning Bride. So what's that one about? Another story of murder and revenge? Sort of, it's complicated. Let me see if I can remember. The rebel leader kidnaps the princess, but then they fall in love and get secretly married. But then there's a shipwreck and she's washed up alone and rescued by her father, the king. So the king wants to marry her off to his ally, and she doesn't dare tell him she's already married to his enemy. So she thinks the rebel fellow is dead anyway. And she thinks he's dead anyway. Only he's not, because he washed up somewhere else and was rescued by a queen, who falls in love with him, and the king falls in love with the queen, but they're enemies. So everyone loves someone who loves somebody else, and they're all trying to murder the people that they think they have betrayed them, and then they think they feel guilty and try to change their own minds. What a plot. Only it's too late because the plot's already in motion, so they end up killed by their own assassins. So the moral is, I guess, that revenge is dangerous. Or else, don't change your mind. Even if a man treated me like Jason, I would never do what Medea did. Well, of course you wouldn't do that. But if someone I loved betrayed me... They should be punished. I'd want to forget. They should be punished. She took it way too far, but Jason deserved her supper for the way he treated her. You can't let people get away with that. He should have been punished. I suppose. You know what they say. Don't get mad. Get even, mate. Just, not by killing people. Bad plan. Very bad plan. No, it's a good plan. You just don't get away with it. You be a sneaky sneak, and you stab, and then you don't get caught. I hear someone nearby snicker, but when I turn to look, I can't tell who it was. Half the audience is still milling around after all. Anyway, thanks for coming with me. No problem. No problemo.